Welcome everyone to another edition of Play It Through, and on this edition it's Shatterhand, brought to us by Jaleco and Natsume. While this game is known as Shatterhand in North America and Europe, in Japan, however, the game is actually based off the Special Rescue Command Solbrain action series, which is just one season of the long-running Metal Hero series, which is also the same series where we got the North American versions of VR Troopers and Big Bad Beetleborgs. In Shatterhand, our main character uses only his fists to combat with all the other enemies in the game, and we'll get a little bit more into the storyline of it as we go through. So here we go with Shatterhand for the NES. We start off with a short cutscene seeing our main hero of the game taking out one of the cyborgs with his fist. Now as the game begins, you're launched into the very first level of the game automatically. After this though, we will be able to select the other levels we want to go to in any order. After we complete all the rest of the levels, we can then finally go to the final level of the game. In Shatterhand, with our main weapon being our fist, this is the actual only weapon we'll be getting for our main character throughout the game, but we also collect alpha and beta symbols. Once you have 3 of them, whatever form they are, whether it's alpha, beta, beta, or all 3 betas, or all 3 alphas, whatever combination you have, forms a different robot that will come along with you that has a different ability. He'll stay there for a little bit, use his moves to your advantage, destroying some of the enemies, or maybe just being an annoyance, depending upon which one you get. But if you're actually able to get 3 of the same exact order again, you'll actually power up your main character into a super form, which will greatly increase your power for a period of time. The problem with this is the robot companion that you'll get, as I just got my first one now, and as you can see, when I use my fist, he also uses his ability, which is this boomerang style projectile that he shoots out, which will hurt enemies. The problem with it is, he hangs out above you, and any enemy can still hurt him, and after only a few hits, he'll end up dying. So you gotta be very quick or very careful in order to get the full power up again, in order to get the supercharged form. So I'll probably only get it once or twice throughout the run. It may seem that the game is pretty hard at first, especially considering your close range that you have to be in order to attack most enemies, but the game works pretty well with this whole concept, and you'll get used to it rather quickly. There are of course going to be hard parts, and the game isn't necessarily the easiest by any means, but the whole fist thing doesn't hurt it too bad. Like in other games such as 8 Eyes, where you have a very short attack range, that really hurts the game because you end up getting so much damage done to you because you can't hit the enemies. Now as far as health and money go in the game, you can see that I have both counts in the lower left corner of the screen. I have an L for my health, and then I have a gold count for the amount of gold that I do currently have. Every time you defeat enemies, you'll get a piece of gold, as well as you can destroy boxes in order to get alpha or beta symbols, as well as sometimes you'll get bags of gold that'll give you a certain amount of gold every time you punch it, until it runs out. And, of course, sometimes you can get tricked and there'll be a grenade inside the box, which will hurt you if you don't get away quick enough. Now here's our first boss of the game, and to start off we have a pretty relatively easy boss. He shoots a shot up into the air, which it will bounce off the wall and then form into a spread shot, so you're going to pretty much not be able to get hit by it for the most part. The hard part about him is, though, when he's really close to you, or when you're really close to him, he'll sometimes do a club swing, which will hit you away from him, and it's almost hard to dodge. You can duck to try to avoid it, but sometimes it's better just to take the hit and then move in closely since it's not that powerful. After he gets a little bit low on health, he'll start flashing so you can tell he's getting low on health, and he'll start to change up his moves, as he just did there with his power-up move that did 2 beams that went around the room that you'll have to jump over, and then they go back to him. That'll go around a couple of times, he'll finally jump back off the wall, and you'll be able to continue punching him. After he's defeated, we get our area cleared screen, we get our score, money count, and how much life we had left, and then we actually get to the main hub of the game where we get to see all the different levels that we get to choose from. So here's our main hub of the game. You can see that we have 5 levels to choose from, and once we complete all 5 levels, we'll then get to go on to the final level of the game. I'm going to start off in the upper left corner and work my way around, so they may be a little out of order, but you can always tell the one you were supposed to go to next because it'll be Area B, Area C, D, E, and F. Area B introduces conveyor belts to the levels, so this can be a little bit of a pain because most of the conveyor belts are pushing you either towards the enemies or away from them, so you have to judge your distance in terms of your punches a little bit differently than the other levels. Also with the conveyor belts, there's going to be pitfalls, especially later on, including lava, that we're going to have to deal with. For the most part, just take your time, especially with enemies on higher platforms in this game. Wait for them to fire or shoot at you, then jump up, deliver a hit, and then if you have to wait a second or so, then jump up again after the next shot to finish them off. Now these big guys that throw the arcing bombs can be a little bit of a pain. Get up close to them, deliver a shot, then quickly move away so that when they punch right after you hit them, you'll be able to dodge their punch. It takes a lot of hits to take them out, but just stay patient, keep moving back and forth, come in, hit them, and then back away. And after a certain amount of shots, you'll be able to defeat them and continue on in the stage. This is the second part of the level that we have to go down through a whole bunch of conveyor belts. Thankfully though, like here, you can stay on the edge of the conveyor belt and keep delivering punches before continuing on, so you can defeat the enemy before you ever have to be on the same platform with that one. When we get here, just move forward and just keep punching. The enemies move pretty slowly on their platforms, so you should be able to hit them without taking any damage. I just got my second robot companion here. This one shoots a little bit different of a shot, as you can see. When he shoots a shot out, it's still a round shot, but it goes out away from you and doesn't come back, like the one I previously had. One thing you have to get used to in the game is being able to cling on to walls, especially any kind of gate or something, so that you can move up the platforms. It's a little bit different, but similar to the Batman game by Sunsoft. Here's an example of one of the medical stations in the game, and one of the reasons why you spend your gold that you collect. You can spend 300 right there, and you can get full health back. There's also one that will power up your guy, changing them from green to red for a short period of time until you get hit, and it'll have more powerful fist attacks during that period of time. Now here, be very careful, wait for the right opportunity, then go over to the gate and cling on to it, then jump to the platform. When you get to here, wait for the guys to come to you before you try to jump onto the same gate with them. Once you defeat one of them, if the other one's not coming towards you, then jump onto the gate right in front of them, deliver a few hits to take them out. Now right before the boss room, we can get an extra power up right there. As you can see, now my vest is red. Here's our second boss of the game. It starts off as two different robots, but you only have to take out one for the first form. Walk to the left or right and just keep punching. If you got the power-up ability from the previous room, just keep punching, and after a few seconds they'll be defeated. Once they're done, it turns into this big dragon form. Now to defeat it, you actually have to hit each individual segment of it. Every time you punch it, you'll see that it turns from red to blue. Once you've defeated every segment, you can hit the bottom of it, which will destroy it altogether. Now that every segment's blue, I can punch the end of it, and then punch the face of the monster in order to finish it off. Here's where I'm going to change up things. Instead of just going right to Area C, I'm just going to hit the next button, which will take me to Area F. So you'll see at the end of this level, I'll have Area F completed. Area F can be a pain because there's lots of fire to deal with. As you can see right now, the city in the background's burning. We also have these robots fall from the sky that if they hit you, they explode. As well as at the end of the level, we have a big long elevator segment to deal with. When you make it to the end here, and I just got another one of the robot guys, this one has a short-range sword attack, which is relatively powerful, but it has to be up close to the enemies in order to hit them. Be very careful while maneuvering around this area because there's all the fire that is spread out, and and if you run through it, obviously you'll take damage. Just take your time through this area. Anytime you get to an enemy, take it out before continuing on so that you don't get too many on screen at once. Especially these guys. They can be definitely